So my story is a year ago, June 28th of 2020, I was in a really horrific car crash. I was by myself, it was single car, but I was airlifted to our military hospital and I had to be cut out of the car. So when I got there, obviously I was out, I didn't know what happened. And my family was told that I probably wouldn't make it through the night. And if I did, I had such devastating injuries, I was probably not going to be the same person again. So I can tell you going up what happened with my injuries. So my right ankle ended up being broken. The talus bone, which is a big bone that holds the femur and the foot together, was broken, and another bone that was definitive on CAT scan. My right ankle, something cut into it so deep it cut into the bone, so it looked like a broken bone. I had internal injuries. So they took 12 centimeters of my small intestine, and then I had broken the outside of my wrist, and they repaired it twice. And I had a humerus fracture that put pins and plates on, but that left me with radial nerve injury, so I was paralyzed. What ended up happening was when they came back in, they repaired. I came back for a second surgery and they repaired this wrist, and obviously it's not supposed to be like that, so they made it worse. And so they had told me that I was probably they're gonna have to fuse that together because I was gonna be in pain and I was gonna be able to use it anyway. So they wanted to fuse it, and I was like, I said no. She goes, well, do you want to wait and see what you can do? I said yes. But when I was in the hospital, I had lots of synchronicities. I'd already been listening to Dr. Joe's YouTube videos and the meditations. So I had no cell phone, I had nothing in there. And I said, you know what? This ankle, I was laying there all broken up, and I wear high heels, and my first thought, this is crazy, oh my God, how am I going to wear my high heels? I've got to heal that ankle. Like, that was my first thing. And I was like, okay, that's really crazy. You're here all broken. And I thought to myself, you want to heal that? And I thought, I'm going to heal it. So I started trying to remember the meditations. I didn't have a phone. I didn't have anything. No one could come see you. It was COVID. So I decided I was going to use that advantageously, and I was going to take a reprieve from the world and work on me. And I wasn't sad, I wasn't unhappy. I got in a really good headspace and said, my ankle is not broken. My ankle is not broken. They're going to come back and tell me it's not broken. I did meditations. I got into my head. And, I went home after, a couple of weeks. They had told me I was going to have intensive rehab, at least a year. They told my family, like I said, I would probably not be the same person again. And when I was going to leave, the doctor says, ma'am, you have to go to rehab. He goes, with your injuries, he goes, most people go to rehab. I literally leaned into him and looked him in the face and said, I'm not most people. And he kind of stepped back. He goes, I believe that. So when I got home, I ordered one of the meditations from Dr. Joe and started using that. So I was really concentrating on that ankle because I just didn't want to I walk and hike and work out. I didn't want to be disabled from that. So long story short, I went back after 8 weeks, and my son had to carry me down. I have 3 little stairs, carried me down the stairs, put me in the truck, put my wheelchair in there because I couldn't walk. Both of my ankles were messed up. So when they took a 3-view x-ray, and he comes, I'm waiting for him, for the doctor, he comes in, he goes, yeah, your ankle's not broken. And I said, really? And I looked over at my son and I winked at him, and he laughed, and he said, I said, well, didn't the CAT scan say it was broken? He goes, yeah, I read the report. And I said, and? He goes, I don't know what to say. And he goes, it could be old injury. He goes, it doesn't even look like that. He goes, you have a bad sprain. And I said, what restrictions do I have? He says, none. So I explained to him what I did, and he was interested. He goes, I believe you. So I was like, he didn't just shut me down. And then I went back and had the surgery for this. And like I said, they didn't set it right because it's not supposed to be this way. And they wanted to do more surgery, and they told me they wanted to fuse everything because I was not going to get use of it back. And I said, I'm going to work on it. And I've got complete use back, no pain. I mean, it's a little bothersome, but there's no pain. And then I had the radial nerve injury, and I was literally paralyzed. And, unless you go through that, I was like willing it to move. And I had a training session I was going to go to, a seminar. Well, I have to write and take notes. And I was telling my friend, I said, it doesn't make sense for me to take this class if I can't take notes. So I had a Facebook group, a kind of positivity group, and I told them, next week I'm going to start writing. I was so angry that I couldn't write because I'm a writer. I love to write. And especially if I'm taking classes or anything. And I said, I'm going to do this. And I said, this is not going to stop me. So I was taking the seminar and I was like, using my other hand to write. Well, it started on a Tuesday. By Friday, I was writing. My arm was on fire because I guess all the tendons, the nerves, everything started fire. I had to take, some prescription strength like ibuprofen and just to calm the pain down. I was like, wow, all the muscles used. But now I've got full use. They wanted to do a tendon transfer from here to there, and put holes in here. And I said, well, don't I need these tendons there? And they're like, well, you'll use them better over here. And I'm like, I'm not going to do that. And they told me I would probably, because I was like 4 months out, and they told me I would probably get partial use, maybe not 100%, but I would get some back. They said it could come back, but sometimes it doesn't. And I was like, I've got it all back.
So what did you do?
It's the mindset. I got out of my reality. I did the meditations. I think it was the heart, the energy centers, healing of the energy centers is what I mainly did. And then I bought Break the Habit of Being Yourself, and just I loved it. I have that science background, and then the research that proves this works. That's what hooked me. I was like, oh my God, I already knew it worked, but I couldn't explain it. So this explains it. And that's just, to me, amazing. The research that he's doing is incredible. And, he's got the data to back all this up. I had no doubt that I was going to be healed. Like, there was no doubt. Like, I knew it was going to be healed. I mean, we're human at the end of the day. And did I have little moments where I was like, oh God, I'm paralyzed. Wait, stop. You know what? Other people have done it. Why can't you? So it was all about knowing that this healing was taking place, and listening to the meditations and just talking myself out of being depressed and, not thinking it was not going to happen. Like, I knew it was going to happen. So now with this event, I'm just like ecstatic. I'm so excited. It's just because a year ago I wasn't here. A year ago things looked really dismal, and I'm like, it's a new me. And after this event, I'm not even the same person that I was a week ago. It works. I'm living proof. I'm a testimony. And I've got, I've got the medical records that I'm getting. So it just, this is life changing.